Hey, and welcome to the You Can Be Anything podcast, a place where we talk about every and anything that impacts our lives on this journey of becoming our best versions. My name is Solange Che, and I am your host. In this podcast, I share my experiences, I share my story, my successes, my failures, my fears, my challenges, all with the goal to inspire someone out there. I stand to tell you today that no matter how many rock bottoms you hit in life, there is always room for self-improvement. So do not give up on yourself, because we are all unique in one way or the other. And because we have different stories and tackle life from different angles, I bring in guests to share their experiences, their stories with us, to give us tips on what they are doing and how they are doing things differently. Remember that in life, there is no one size fits all. So my goal is to be able to provide a repository where my audience will be able to come back to and say, hey, there was this guest that shared his or her experience on a specific topic, and I would like to gain some more insights from that. So it also serves as a knowledge base. I hope you get the best value out of this, and that someday you will come back to be my guest. Thank you for being part of the You Can Be Anything tribe. Hey, it's another day. It's an opportunity to talk to another amazing person. You all know it's what I do. I love to bring on those people who come to share their stories, who come to share their experiences, all with the goal to inspire. So today happens to be one of those days. And today on the podcast, we have another amazing guest, somebody that you probably have seen before if you've listened to all the episodes. And today we are here to talk about something a little bit more personal. And I'm looking forward to having a great conversation. And yes, let's do this together. So today on the podcast, I have Denzel Blessed. Denzel Blessed is a friend. Denzel Blessed is a relationship coach. He's many things. He's a lot of things. One of the people that on the social media space, he creates a buzz now and then, here and there, because of his perspectives about relationship, marriage, love, all of that. So Blessed, thank you again for accepting to be on the You Can Be Anything podcast. It's always a pleasure to have you, and welcome to my show.
Thank you so much, Solange, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to the show. I'm all yours. I'm dedicated to this.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. There are some people we know you, but if somebody happened to, again, not anything very detailed, if somebody happened to come across this episode and they just want to know brief, okay, Solange is talking to Denzel. Who is Denzel? Just a brief description of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, like you said, I'm a little bit of a lot of things. I'm a relationship coach, dating coach. I was doing matchmaking before, but I stopped for some personal reasons. I'm a CBT therapist as well. That is a cognitive behavioral therapy. I did that for some time, but I'm kind of like trying now to really build myself in another way. But I still kind of like attach these little things. And I have a couple of other things that I'm working on. I'm from Cameroon, based in Switzerland. I have, I'm a father, and it's beautiful. And basically that is a part of me that I think a lot of people who are interested to know me should know. But as the show unfolds, I think there will be more things that I can talk about.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And yes, you're a bit of everything. And that's how I met you on in the social media space. And yes, today I can call you a friend because yes, I chat with you, I talk to you. Today on the show, I want us to talk about, we've had conversations around relationship. We've had conversations around love. We've talked about matchmaking. The Roy Mama Show and myself, we've invited you over to our Sunday Fun Day to talk about some of these topics. But today I want us to talk about something personal. And I would love for us to focus on the man that you are. In the social media space, you have given notes here and there. We've talked about your divorce. You've talked about being a father. But today I want us to delve a little in, right? And I want us to look at divorce, what it is to you, what it has, what led to it, and what life after divorce is. So we are looking at this in three different parts, right? And you are a young man, you've experienced divorce, you've been divorced for some time now, but let's look at the good part of this first. How did you meet your ex-wife?
That's a very beautiful question. Apparently, we met in a very, on a strange ground. I'm not going to go into a lot of details because it's a whole long story. But we met in Thailand. That was in 2018. I was there for, I lived in Thailand for almost 3 years. We met there, and that was how the whole thing started. It was a beautiful story. And as we proceed, we decided okay, someone needs to move over. And in that moment, she couldn't move to Thailand, so I had to move over to Switzerland. And that's how we got married and had a beautiful family. And that's it.
How many kids in your marriage?
We have just one. We have just a daughter.
You have a daughter in marriage. That's amazing. And just tell us a little bit about your marriage life. How was it like? Was it as a young man growing up, as a young Cameroonian man, a young African man that has left the country or living out there, and you meet this woman, the love of your life? You describe it as a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful union, right? What about your marriage are you willing to share with the people that are listening? What kind of marriage do you think you had?
Yeah, if I have to speak on my experience, I think it was one of the most beautiful things that happened to me in that period of my life. There are so many things that I learned from that marriage, coming from Africa, coming from a place where I didn't really have a blueprint about marriage. No one taught me this is how marriage should be. It's kind of like I picked those experiences from different people, and I guess I picked up some wrong concepts as well, but I was so lucky because I got married to someone that she's amazing. She's a great woman. She's very feminine, very God-fearing, very, very family-oriented. And I get to learn a whole lot of things. So I think marriage is a very beautiful thing. This image about Denzel that a lot of people get to see today, I think my marriage or my failed marriage helped to shape me to be this person. I learned discipline there, how to be vulnerable, how to communicate effectively, how not to run away when there is a tough conversation for us to have, and how to be respectful as well. These are all some benefits, and how to protect and how to care, to provide for the family. These are all some great lessons that I learned. But fast forward, sometimes because we do not know who we are, we make wrong decisions. I would say one of the reasons why my marriage failed, it started from me also choosing a wrong partner for me. You get she's an amazing person, but just because someone is so good doesn't mean they are good for you.
They're right for you.
Mm-hmm. For you. So you need to know who you are as a person. And I had no knowledge about me. I was an adult, but I think I had an adolescent age, the psychological age was an adolescent. I didn't really know a lot about me. I didn't know what I like, what I dislike, how I want my woman to look like, the things I want to do, the things I want to share with my partner, and like they say, the person you marry, have like, that's one of the most difficult decisions you ever have to face or to make, and choosing someone who is not your match can really, it's kind of like it's a recipe for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm so happy I had to make that mistake with someone that is mature, they are emotionally well grounded, So yeah, we just had to call it out, like this is not working for us. We have a very beautiful daughter. Can we learn to love our daughter and pour love into her in the best possible way that we can? And we
Yeah.
both mostly agreed on that. And it's okay, let it go. And he's still my friend. He's like my best friend today. I still check on them, they check on me. And if there is something we need to do for the benefit of our little girl, we jump on the train and we do it together, which is so beautiful.
Yeah, that's amazing. Do you feel like, I know you said do you mind sharing at what age you got married?
I think I was 32, I think 31, 32.
And let me take this back to where you come from, upbringing, parenting. Do you feel or do you think that your parents prepared you for marriage as a young Cameroonian boy?
No, they did not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm 40, I'll be 41 this January. And I can say that I've had marriage conversation with my dad about 3 times. And it all started, I would say, last year in November. Again. So that means from my 0 to 39 years, I never had a marriage conversation with my dad. There was absolutely no blueprint of what marriage is. It's kind of like you are grown, you can do things. But I personally think that we all need someone to educate us on important life lessons, and marriage is one of those. And if you're coming from a place where you have experienced a lot of like failed marriages, like you saw it from your parents, your uncles, your aunties, it kind of like shifts you behind, And sometimes when you're young, you are desperate too. You make weak decisions based on your emotions, on survival mode, and things like that. So yeah, they didn't really give me a better blueprint. I learned what marriage is in marriage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, I think. I think that I know it is a reality of so many young men. Sometimes when people talk about these things, they focus on the girls. Oh, that woman is not a good woman. Didn't your mother prepare you to be a wife? And that is because of there is some level of cultural there's some cultural background to this where you see that as Africans or as Cameroonians, you will hear a lot of talk around, hey, you have to prepare your girl child for marriage. Because growing up many years ago, the focus was, okay, the men are going to go out there and fend for the family. You prepare the woman to become a housewife, to become a marriageable material or object that somebody is going to come pay bride price on and take away from you, right? So you will hear instances where most parents, in this case, we're talking about you and I, it's like our grandparents even, right? They prepared their girl children for marriage. And I don't know that many of our grandfathers actually sat their boy kids down and talked to them about what it meant to be a husband. And we do not even talk about marriage. Sometimes most boys learn just by seeing, right? Hey, what is my father doing? You just learn by example, but not really having those conversations. Now you've gone through this in your own way. You just made a statement that you learned about marriage in marriage. You do not have any prior talk, orientation, and like, hey, this is what you did not even know yourself, which to me is something that is very, very prominent, especially when I talk to young girls. If I have the opportunity, they say, you cannot, if you're not a millionaire, how can you teach people about how they can become a millionaire? Sometimes I find myself conflicted in that same concept because I am not married. But if there is one thing that I can tell young girls, it's like, hey, it is important for you to find yourself before you get into marriage. That's the only message. As a single person, I know that is valid to give to any other single girl out there who wants to get married. Let's talk a little bit about you not even knowing who you are, right? Getting into marriage. And when you went up there, when you went and you made that vow, yes, I do, and you started living with this woman, with your ex-wife, who is a very special person to you. Fortunately, it's a very amicable divorce for you. It is not built on hate and stuff. We've talked about this a couple of times, right? When you got into that home, in that space, this is your new home, this is your space, you even had a baby. How did you navigate your everyday? How did you navigate, take responsibility? How was that for you? I don't know. There's a lot of things that you can put in here, but whatever comes to mind and you feel like sharing, just share with us. I just want to know how it was for the young Denzel who got into marriage, living with a woman, and even making a baby. How was it?
Yeah, I think I would say before getting married, right, we were already kind of like, we had something between us. I want to call that friendship.
Okay.
We had a friendship between us, you know, and with that, I had already trusted her like a friend.
Okay.
There was an understanding between us. So when I moved over, we got married, that friendship was still there.
Okay.
We just kind of like, we heighten it, or we take it to the next level, which is now husband and wife. But it was a very beautiful environment for us, challenging at the same time, because I had to learn different culture, I had to learn different language and different ways of talking. Being like you're talking to a foreign woman, it's different, you know. But generally speaking, it was beautiful. I'm someone that I love to grow. And seeing myself assuming responsibilities and just being a man, it was a beautiful thing. Challenging, but I loved the challenge because I believed deep down in me that it was making me a better person. You know, it was making me a responsible man, that I was becoming someone that I was proud of myself. My family was proud of me. My friends, they were also proud of me. She was proud of me, you know, and it was beautiful, you know, just being around with someone that you guys can have that companionship. You go to work, you come back, you guys talk about your day, they go to work, you can go to work and you can go to their job site and pick them up after work, you drive there, you pick them up. It's a beautiful thing. And it was something very beautiful for me to do, you know, but it's beautiful, I would say. It's beautiful. And if there's anything I have to add, I'm glad I had to go through that route or that journey with her.
Yeah.
You know, I can't picture another person to fit in there with, like, during that period of my life. You know, because I think I was naive about a whole lot of things because I was young. I didn't have the knowledge. So she was the one.
Yeah, she was the one person that could tolerate, again, let's use that word, the you that did not know much about marriage, right?
Yeah,
and I bet that is a plus for you.
Yeah, and I think it's more about positive tolerance, because I think, okay, I have my own flaws, but I'm not that guy that I would say I have a lot of like vices like that. I
Just
respect
having grace,
boundaries.
right? I don't think necessarily vices, but someone that just had the grace that would just understand, like, okay,
Yes,
this is how
yes,
somebody that is a little bit more understanding, as I always like to, I
yeah.
like to call it grace, because that some
Mm-hmm.
people maybe tolerate is not the best word to use here, but just somebody that is a little bit more understanding, somebody that
Yeah,
just says, okay, maybe he's doing this because he doesn't know any better, instead of just bashing, you're just understanding that whole
yeah,
thing, right?
yeah,
It's beautiful that you had that. Again, the fact that you can think about your marriage and you have good things to say about
yeah,
your marriage is an amazing thing, especially for someone who has gone through a divorce, right?
yeah.
Today, since we're focusing a lot on what this divorce was for you, how it has impacted you and stuff, let's talk a little bit about what was it that made you, both of you, realize
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, this is not going to work. It's better we go apart and bring up
Mm-hmm.
our daughter and co-parents, instead of hanging on to this thing, because where you and I know, Denzel, where we come from, it is recently that divorce is being absorbed, being taken like, okay, yes, if you don't pass, you leave them, right? But in your own brain, in growing up, where you
Mm-hmm.
come from and all of that, what was that thing, or at what stage in your marriage did both of you realize that we can't do this no more? Let's part
Yeah,
ways and bring up our daughter together.
yeah, that's a very good question, and it's so deep. It's so deep. Um, just to keep it 100% and real, the entire time that we stayed together, I can count one moment where I would say this was disrespectful. This was out of order. We lived together for almost 6 years.
Mhm.
I cannot count one moment where I can say this is out of line. I cannot.
Hmm.
I cannot. That's just the honest truth. I cannot. But I think where I got that shift of mind when I did my first counseling and relationship counseling certification,
Yeah.
I started following up. I started studying relationship. I did some courses on psychology as well. I started talking to people. Couples are coming to me. I'm counseling them. I'm coaching them. I'm getting feedbacks, emails from these people, and they are opening up to me how I changed their marriage. I went back home, or let's say I was sat in front of my computer after reading some of their emails. There was this question that kept popping up, like it kept coming. Are you truly happy with yourself, with this marriage?
Mhm.
Are you truly happy with yourself? And I think the breaking point for me, or the turning point for me, was I listened to one podcaster, and the interviewer asked her, what can she say about the people who they are married, they are not happy, but they cannot leave?
Mhm.
I bet you what she said destroyed me completely.
Wow.
She said, those people do not love themselves. That was like, wow.
Why do you think you were not? Why do you think you felt you were not happy that particular moment? What is it that made you have that feeling?
I think we had, I think, okay, for a healthy relationship, or for let me say a thriving relationship, right? There are two things I personally believe that it should exist: friendship, and I think the second one is a romantic partner.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I had friendship I changed that. I changed friendship. Now when I talk to my friends now, I would say I had a family, which is something that I strongly believe that I still have until this particular moment. She's my family.
Yes, you have Maya with her.
Yeah, she's my
You're never
family.
going anywhere.
Yeah, but something was missing, that romantic mate. If you're married, I think you need that chemistry, you need that connection. You need to be connected to your partner romantically like that. You need to feel the vibe. You both need to feel each other. You get. So I think that was one of the things that there was a disconnection there.
Between the two of you, who do you think liked sex more? Who was more sexual?
I think me.
You think you were? Okay.
Yeah, I think me. Yeah. So yeah, I think that was where the disconnection. Like we had that, or I had that feeling. But when I listened to that interview from that podcast, it destroyed my mind. Like in a very positive way. It gave me the picture of everything. And I'm not going to lie. I prayed over that from that moment, right? I prayed over that for like 6 months.
Yeah.
I dedicated that to God for a whole 6 months. And I was just asking God, like, on the screen, this looks so good. But behind the scene, it doesn't. Because until date, when you see us like we are walking on the street with our daughter, right, you cannot tell that these people are not together. There is still that respect
for each other.
Yes, we do not cross boundaries. We talk to we respect each other. But that romantic partner was
sorry for cutting you short, because just before we go out of this topic, sometimes when we talk, you've listed two things. You talk about friendship, you talk about the romance in a relationship, right? And we all know that when we talk about relationships, and one of the main things that comes up when we talk about marriage, there is marriage, yeah, there is love, which to me, love, it's a little bit vague in marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a personal perspective. Then there is money, and then there is sex. Okay, to me, money and sex play a very big role. The respect to, I will not believe respect out, because I know what respect can do to a person, right? These three things, love can happen. I don't put too much emphasis on love. I look at money, I look at sex, I look at respect. These three things to me are the driving forces. And the fact that you mentioned romance as one of the things that you felt like, okay, maybe this was an issue. Defer this question if you feel like it's too prying. Do you feel that you were having a romantic gap, which is what tons of people are experiencing out here in marriages? Hey, my partner doesn't sexually satisfy me enough, or hey, my partner is too demanding and I can't satisfy them enough. Do you feel like you had that sexual gap in your marriage that contributed in making you have that feeling of like, hey, I am not happy in this marriage, that led you into think like, okay, maybe this is not working for us? What do you think about that?
I think that where there is no where there is no attraction, there is no attraction. You cannot create attraction. You cannot destroy it. It's like connection.
Yeah.
When there is, there is. If it's not there, it's not there. You can have some excitement, some exciting moments, but it's not going to last.
Yep, last.
So I think instead of me saying the sex or the romance was not there, I would say the attraction was not there. Because I think for me, attraction is a very big thing. You need to really find someone very attractive before you did.
And that's why I say love is not blind. So do you blame me when I say love is truly not blind? This whole saying that love is blind, that thing is fake.
No, love is not. Love is never blind. It's never blind.
Thank you.
That's what I think. It's never blind. Just for me, I would say when it comes to love, I would say when you get into a relationship with someone, with love, with your heart, take your brain with you. Put every other things in place. Like now, I don't think I can be with someone that I do not find even casual, like flings. If I do not find you sexually attractive, I cannot go down that line with you.
Yep.
I cannot, because
important point.
Yeah, it's like sex to me has become, it's like creating magic.
Yep. I say it's
I don't want to create, I don't want to do that with someone that I don't find. Because for me, I'm different when it comes to those things. And I think my divorce has also helped me to really work on myself. The lonely moment, the isolation, like the moment I've spent alone has really shaped my life. The way I look at things, it's like I'm becoming more of like demisexual. You need to really stimulate me, like mentally. I consider a whole lot of things before I can even go down like that. If it's not there, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so for you, so again, just from this conversation, and again, I've always known, just based on the way you talk, and when I read through your lines, you can tell that you're a sexual person, right? You're somebody that believes in the touch, in the attraction, in the, again, I remember my first encounter with you was something around people losing weight. It was something that had to do with weight or stuff. And I questioned, I think I responded to that post, and that's how we got connected. And with that kind of a mindset, considering that this is an experience that you've had, yes, that plus other things around you, finding yourself, trying to live the life that to you is your happy life, having that attraction. Even if you want to have sex with somebody that you're attracted to, that you feel the connection with, and all of these things. Now, after divorce, fortunately for you, unlike most of your brothers out here, they are stuck. Let me use it that way. There are a lot of people out here who are stuck, both your brothers and your sisters, our brothers and sisters who are stuck in this thing and they don't know how to move on, right? But now you realize that early enough, came to an agreement, and both you and your ex-wife, you decided to part your ways. Now you're back into the pool of water, of women. Denzel doesn't want to die alone. You're not like so babes with Denzel wants to find a relationship, right? How is your past? How is your divorce? The time that you have spent by yourself, finding yourself, how has that impacted how is that impacting your current search for a new life partner? How would you say that has impacted you?
Yeah, I think I don't want to make the same mistakes anymore. You know, I don't want to get married and get a divorce again. I'm someone that I believe in marriage. I believe in that institution. I preach about that a lot. You know, and I think my failed marriage gave me the opportunity to discover who Denzel is. But there are so many things that I have written down about me, what I'm looking for. You know, what I find attractive, the qualities that my potential woman should have. It's not so heightened or exaggerated, you know, but it's more of like the work that I have done on myself. I want a queen that is going to come into my world with her own imperfection, but we can blend each other. So just coming from a failed marriage has really shaped me a lot of who I am. I know the things like I had a conversation with a friend yesterday, and I told her that you could put 100 women in a room. I don't think I'll find 2 women attractive in that room.
That's a tight spot for you. That's a really tight spot to be in.
It is. Because, and she asked me why. I said because. So when you have worked on yourself, you come out, you see that a lot of people are broken. I want to be able to have a conversation with someone. A lot of people are not willing to have a conversation. A lot of people cannot be vulnerable. A lot of people do not want to reciprocate love. A lot of people don't want to nurture. They don't want to protect. They don't want to give back. They don't want to serve. And I'm not just talking about sex. I think what I told her yesterday is like, I'm not talking about sex. I can get lost in all those 100 women sexually. But I'm talking about building a real, genuine connection.
Mm-hmm.
You get.
And what does that mean to you before you go away from that? When you talk of building connection, what does that mean to you? What is building connection to you?
It's kind of like, I need to find you attractive. I see the values that you carry, and I have I kind of like match them with my own values. Mm-hmm. The way we communicate. Can I be me around you? Can you be your authentic self around me? Are we open for a conversation? Can I trust you? Can you? I know trust is earned over a period of time, right? But from the start, I need to see who you are as a person, the way you carry yourself, especially with the fact that I have a community like my platforms. I don't want to bring someone in this beautiful thing that God has given me that is going to kind of like sabotage that. Mm-hmm. So I need someone that, they carry themselves in a certain way, because I do my best to carry myself. But it's all about getting to know someone. They can be open and they have some strong values that they are working on themselves. It's crazy out here when you get to see people. It's crazy. You look at them like, why would you say certain things like that? The way they talk, it's like I know we are all broken, but when it comes to relationship, now you're like, wow, okay.
People have strange perspectives that I can tell you as another single woman. That people have interesting perspectives about marriage, love, all of those things. When you talk to people, you get to hear those and you ask yourself. One thing that we know is that divorce is never, I would not, again, I don't know. I've never experienced it. I don't come from one, but if you ask me, divorce means it's not a happy ending, right?
No, it's not. It's not.
Which means that there needs to be some level of healing after divorce. And do you feel like you have? I know one of the things you had to do was finding yourself. Would you say that in the course of finding yourself, you were healing? Or would you say that you not being able to pick out 2 women from a pool of 100 women, is that because you are not healed? Is that because have you become overhealed?
I don't want to say I'm overhealed. I think I'm still in the healing process. I'm still in the healing process. There are some things that I think I'm not even sure if I will be fully healed, because until now, sometimes I still kind of like just fall down like in myself and really cry, especially when I think of the fact that I'm not there 100% for my daughter. It breaks me like crazy. She's just 5. I would love to pick her up from school many times. I would love to drop her off many times. And it's like, and with my daughter, I have a very special bond. It's very special. I think I would say I was the second person who touched her when she was being delivered. And it was one of the most beautiful things. And there was this spark in me after that, and just not being there 100% for her. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I hope when she will understand. And I think I will just give her mom a lot of credit for how she's raising her in this distance, because she's like, even when I drop her off, it's kind of like when she's coming to pick, it's kind of mama, 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 she wants to run. Like, you haven't told your daddy that you love her, you love him. She has to come back and do that. And it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So I don't know if I will ever be fully healed on that part. You get, but I think when I finally settle down, like have my own queen, right? Some of these things that like the pressure or the anxiety will go down, but I'm still healing. I don't think we get married with the purpose of getting a divorce, except you're crazy, except you are emotionally broken, but that's not the case for most people. It wasn't my case. I was just ignorant. I was just naive about what marriage is all about, but that wasn't my intention. I wish I knew better so I could do better. And now that I know better, I want to make better decisions so I become a better man, a better husband, a better father, and a better leader in my community.
Yep. Yeah. I've listened to you talk about your daughter so many times. And when you talk again, forgive me or don't forgive me, I am a bit of a super communicator. I try to, when I talk to people, I try to understand their feelings. I watch body movements. I'm not the best, but I can give myself a little bit of credit. And today is one of those days that you let your daughter was picked up. And when I started talking to you today, I could feel your demeanor was down. I could feel that there are two things. Either you had a really tight hug to say goodbye, or when they left, you cried. I felt that.
Yeah.
And
it's always like that. It's always like that. I'm getting over that a little bit, but in the past, it was so tense, especially the first 6 or 7 months of the divorce. It was so deep. Like, it was so deep, but I'm glad I'm getting over that a little bit. I don't think I want to get over it.
And that's what I was just going to tell you. You don't need to get over it. Right? And if you ask me, again, not that I'm any expert, that feeling that you have with your daughter, that connection is a special one. And it is a kind of connection that you don't want to let go of. You don't make an effort to simmer that connection. No, it's there for a reason. And that is probably one of the reasons why you are co-parenting well with your ex-wife, because you both love your daughter and you both are willing to put in the time to make sure that the little girl, even though her parents are no longer together, don't live in the same house, she knows that they love her. And to a little girl growing, that is the most important thing. The fact that you put live in the same house, it might make her ask questions. But when you people are together and she sees that, hey, this is my daddy, this is my mama, and there is still that code, it helps build them in a way that only children who are growing up without both parents in their lives can explain. I cannot explain.
You're very correct. You are very correct. And I think it's also challenging for me because one of her love languages is quality time. She's just 5, but she really wants to spend quality time and
with both of you,
with both of us. And since I understood that, then I'm not there to spend that quality time. It makes it a little bit harder for me. If I'm when I'm with her, she doesn't want me to leave, and she doesn't want to leave. It's like it's really challenging.
She's growing. Don't worry. But I want you to enjoy it. Don't try to get that feeling. Leave it alone. Just leave it, enjoy it. I think we talked briefly about what cry does. If it makes you cry, cry it out, right? It's a feeling that you want to enjoy it because there is no guarantee that as she grows to become a teenager, she will still, again, they're evolving, right? They're growing.
Yeah.
But you see this young, tender TLC that she's showing you today. Please enjoy it. Enjoy. Do not try to cut it off. It is a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I said that's true. It's fine.
Yeah. So based on all what you've said, right, we talked about, again, from every indication, one of the biggest gaps that you feel as a result of your divorce is the spending quality time with your daughter, right? Which is anybody that knows you definitely knows that because of how you speak about her. How do you think that this generally, because you're a coach, you know these things a little bit. Again, I talk from my own little experiences, but you're the expert here. How do you think that the absence of a father or let's say divorce, right? What impact does it have on children as they grow up?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think divorce had a lot of impact on the kids, but those impacts or those problems can be fixed based on how the divorce went by. It can, because at the end of the day, kids just want to receive love. They do not care where that love is coming from, whether it's from a distant or it's from a nearby place. All they need is love. So I personally think that it's very important that after a divorce, couples or the parents, they should do their best not to poison the mind of the kids involved.
Yeah.
They should always stay very positive, because when they poison their mind, the kids, they grew up with the mindset that daddy or mommy left because of them. And they tend to resent themselves. They tend to resent the other partner or the other parent. You get? So I think the love that we pour into, or I think the love that every parent should pour into their kids after a divorce should be something really healthy. You should never tell your baby that the daddy is a bad person, the mom is crazy, and start calling your mom, your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend, labeling them a toxic person. So for me personally, I can speak for myself, the love that we pour. And like I said, I think a couple of minutes ago, I give all the credits to her. She's an amazing woman, amazing mom to my girl. Sometimes I'm still like, wow, okay, she's really doing these things. And once in a while, it could be once in a month, once in 2 weeks, I do something of appreciation, just a message. Like I send to her, like, thank you so much for what you're doing to our baby. Like, I see her hair, it's so clean, it's sparkling, she's well put together. I'm just like, wow, this is so beautiful. And the love she's giving her, there is no day that I want to see her and there is a problem. And there is no day that she will ask me like, hey, Denzel, can you pick up her today? I would better say, no, tomorrow I'm not going to work to go and pick her up. I'm not going to fail. That's for me, that one is no excuse.
So there is still that trust. She knows, that you know that you guys can trust and still depend on each other when it comes to...
There's another thing I think I should add. When I see a lot of guys, there's this thing we talk about, like child support of a thing. I don't have that. We don't have that.
Because you have a cordial relationship. Child support only comes in when people
don't have that.
to take responsibility.
There was something she said. She said something when we were going to, like, you and I are informed. We will never allow the state tell us what to do to our baby.
Yes.
We are informed.
Oh God.
If we do not know what to do, let's ask questions, but we should never allow the state or the council to impose on us how to raise our baby. You will sacrifice your time to pick her up. I will sacrifice my time to pick her up until she becomes that woman that she can take a train or drive all by herself. But for the meantime, we don't need any of that. And since then, it's been like that. I will never fail, and I don't think she will ever fail.
Yeah, that's good. Again, it's a very sweet spot to be in. And again, keep your faith. I know that you're a believer. Just keep praying for that, because I don't want to be your devil's advocate, Denzel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're still living this, keep an open mind. And these are some of the things that I bet will contribute towards your search for a new partner. Or maybe she finds a new partner, or I don't know if she has already or not. But these are the little things that will contribute, will play a role when you go out there now. Denzel is trying to find love again. And this leads me to what I want to ask you now. What, according to you, is fulfillment and happiness now that you're divorced? What is fulfillment? What is that happiness to you that you felt as a void years ago?
Wow, I never thought about something like that. Okay, if I have to really put that into context, I think at this point, I would say a happy family, a healthy family, just by knowing that both of them, when I talk about both of them, I'm talking about my ex and my little girl, just knowing that they are healthy gives me some sort of fulfillment. I feel satisfied in my soul. You know, sometimes just getting a text message from her like, we are going to the zoo tomorrow. Like, I'm taking Maya to the zoo tomorrow. Makes me really fulfilled. Sometimes just by sending me a text like, she has a swimming class tomorrow. If you are off, you want to join us. It makes me really fulfilled.
That's good.
You know, and I'm also in the place where I've learned my lessons. I've learned who I am as a person. I think if I ever have to bring someone in my space, like a woman, she will understand, she will see the growth. And just by me knowing that I've taken a step ahead of personal development, it also gives me some sort of fulfillment. I have learned what being alone is. That means if I have someone, I've learned that I can appreciate their presence around me. Just knowing that also gives me some sort of fulfillment. It's a whole lot of things. You know, I appreciate people now more, the little things they do for me, the time they sacrifice. And I'm also more, I think one of my goals this year is to be like a manure, like a fertilizer into the lives of people. I don't want to get in touch with someone, then I leave them the same way I met them.
Yeah, that's a beautiful one.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that there was something that I never experienced, that is having my own space. You know, I think it's good to be comfortable with yourself before you bring people into your space. You know, be happy with yourself, that you can bring people into your life. I think it's a very beautiful thing. And I didn't get to, you know, live that or experience that in Africa or in Cameroon. You know, but right now I'm in that space where I can do my own things. I'm more independent. And also, I think my divorce also taught me I would say I'm more masculine now as compared to back then, because this moment of being alone has taught me, like, it has taught me a lot of things.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a beautiful thing. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. Yeah, it's just so beautiful. Yeah.
That's nice. And again, I'm happy that you're sharing all of this, talking about your divorce. I don't know how it makes you feel inside.
I'm good. I'm good.
But I don't know how I would feel if I was talking about something like that. But yeah, the reason we have conversations like this is to inspire, is to teach.
Mm-hmm.
It's like being able to share our experiences so that because there are people out here who are experiencing something similar, and sometimes people just need to hear someone who has gone through or is experiencing a similar thing, and they can be like, okay, maybe if this guy, Denzel, is doing it and he's doing it the way he's doing, he says that he's happy where he is. Of course, he misses his daughter, but he has the opportunity to see his daughter and still do things for his daughter, right? The question I have for you based on that is, what role do you think that, or how can I put this in a way that will not, like, how, as a divorced father, again, this is not just to you, but other parents out there, men, I want to talk about men because you're a man. And again, men, they say it's a bro code. And when a man is listening from another man, right?
Yeah.
What role do you think that a father has in maintaining the family dynamics after divorce?
I would say even before the divorce, right? So before you guys get to that point of going separate ways, respect your woman, treat your woman nice, be kind, be protective to your woman. A lot of people think that divorce is one of the most devastating things, but I think it's not. I think staying in an unhealthy relationship or marriage
is more devastating than divorce.
Yes, I think so. So if you have to go through that divorce lane, or when you're married and you feel like it's not going well, make sure you do it peacefully. A peaceful divorce is better than a bad divorce. Be very kind to your spouse, be very respectful to them. And after that, still be a man, still be very respectful, still be kind. Take full responsibility. One thing I did, I think I shared this with Roy Mama. After my messed up, I was not myself. I realized that I was crying a lot. I was crying a lot alone. And I was praying a lot. Then I had to I sent her a text like, hey, if you're free, I don't know, there's something I really want to talk. And she's like, okay, fine. We're going to the park tomorrow. It's weekend. If you're not working during this weekend, you can join us at the park. We can talk there. And if you want to come home, it's still fine. But that means you have to come early before we go to the park. And I was like, okay, I will join you guys at the park. And later that day, I met them at the park. Luckily, the park was okay. Very few people were there. And our daughter was running around, jumping with trampoline and stuff like that. And we had a seat somewhere. We had to talk. And it was something very simple. And I just apologized to her, like, hey, I'm sorry. Maybe I never said it in the correct way, but I'm sorry. Whatever happened, whatever I did without even knowing it, I'm sorry. Whatever I said, which I don't think I said some crazy things, but it's just me being in that space of, I just want things to be right. Because I also think that as a man, it's our job to look into our women and know if they are happy or not. So you can Of course, they too can do that to you, but I'm speaking of my experience. You know, I think it's our job to look at your woman like, is she really happy? If she's not, how can I assist her so she get to that place of being happy or that place of happiness? So for me, I was like, hey, you know, I'm sorry. If there were moments where you feel like maybe I should have done more and I didn't do more, I'm sorry. If there were moments where maybe I should have brought you flowers at work and I didn't, I'm sorry. If there was a time where maybe you expected me to do something that I didn't do, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm speaking right now. I'm just sorry for everything. She looked at me and she was laughing and she said, it's okay. She's sorry too. She doesn't know, but if she did anything wrong, she's sorry too. And Maya came and she started laughing. I'm like, why are you laughing? Then she said, no, it's okay. Then she said something like, I know that she's in a more, nothing I said that you are in a more better place than I am. And she said, yeah, I know. I'm in a more better place than you are because of her.
Mm-hmm.
She's my everything. And your everything is not with you. So where I am, it's more better than where you are. And I know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing that I love about her. You know, we can still have very open and honest conversation.
Yeah.
So for my brothers, take some sort of accountability, but that was what I did there. Be accountable. It's your job to make sure that your woman is okay, even when you people are facing the most difficult moment of your marriage or your life. Still take accountability. Today, the woman I'm talking to or seeing, I can't let her. I'm now more curious. I'm trying to be a more better man. I don't want her to go through some things that I'm there and I don't even see that. I try to check the non-verbal cues. I want to know because I want to be present. And sometimes I think I wasn't present with social media. It's just distracting you and stuff like that. You know, but now I want to be more present. I want to see what my woman is going through. Like, hey, I see you. I want us to do this together. You know, how can I help you? Even in your own little private stuff, how can I jump in and make your day light? You know, so for the guy, take some sort of accountability, you know, apologize. It's okay. It's manly, something men should be doing. Apologize and fix your problem. And if you know deep down in you that you can stick together, go through it, but never distance yourself from your kids. And I think if the divorce is peaceful, your woman will always maintain that healthy relationship with your kids. This is just my own experience.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. One final question, okay? If you were to go back in time, what advice would you give the young Denzel before marriage?
Wow. I would say that, okay, the first thing I would say, I don't know if it's like, know who you are. I think if you know who you are, then you know who you are not. You know what you like. I know the things that you don't like. Know your strength, your weaknesses. Just know who you are as a person, your own values, your own preference. And this is going to be like your guide for you to bring someone into your life. I don't think you have to come from a perfect home. You can still come from a broken home, but at least know that you are coming from a broken home. Acknowledge that and accept that. You know, and when you find your partner, treat them right, try to connect with them in all areas of life, try to connect with them. It's something I think it's very beautiful. And a lot of men are distancing themselves from genuine connection. Yeah, but when you know who you are, I think you start to value connection. You know, the young Denzel will be like, you know, as you know who you are, go with it. Look for someone that you don't want, like that whole era of separation. It's not a good thing. It's not good. You know, it's not good. So yeah, when you know who you are, then you know who you are not, and you pick someone that fits in who you are, and you're going to blend that, and you have a perfect family, perfect relationship, in code perfect, you know. But that will be you, and that will be like your own picture that you paint, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
Yeah,
amazing. This has been a beautiful chat, Denzel. Before I
yeah.
ask you my goodbye question for our so do for the show, is there anything that you love to share that Social Babes did not bring up in our chat?
No, I think you came up with almost yeah, you did everything you're supposed to do. You know, I couldn't give you those questions. You came up with them, you know, and we talked about it. It's beautiful. I haven't had them. I think since I started going on people's podcasts, I've not really talked about my divorce like this.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad we are doing that today. It also gives me the chance to express some of the unaddressed issues, which
Yeah.
is beautiful. You know, so yeah, the
I
questions
know you're
were
in
all
the
good.
pool. I know you're swimming in that pool of babes now. You might be
Which
talking
pool?
to one. The pool of babes. Remember, we are a pool. Women are a pool. It's so many of us that you people have to navigate through to find. That's why we call it a pool. But again, know that my platform is always open. From my heart, I always wish you the best as you go through this, but also continue to remind you. And I love that when you talk about these things, you bring it out yourself, that there is nothing like perfection. There is
Yeah,
something you're looking for, but you are not looking for perfection. You're looking for
yeah,
somebody that is flexible to know what needs to be worked on and all of those. Again, we've had
yeah,
conversation before. You put it on your own platform, so I definitely understand that you know what you're doing. And I know one
yeah.
of the questions that I asked you in one of our private chats was how if you think that you're a very flexible person. And we had
Mm-hmm.
that conversation, and you said it was something that you're working on, because to me, not knowing you personally and just seeing you online, reading the
Mm-hmm.
things you write and stuff, to me, you came off as someone that was a little bit too strict, in the sense that you might be the like straight line, nope, no bend
Yeah,
person. When I had that conversation with you, again, that was my
yeah,
perspective, and I wasn't afraid to tell you that that's how I felt about
yeah.
you. So,
Yeah,
so
it's something I'm working on. It's something I'm still working on it. I've learned to enjoy life.
yeah, gotta
I've learned to
enjoy
enjoy life. And I think if you don't want to enjoy life with women, then you will have a big problem with them.
it.
You know, you will have a big problem with them. I don't want to have problems with any female. So I
You
just
don't
want to
have
kind of like,
problems with women, don't.
yeah, let me just enjoy life, you know. Yeah, it's something I'm working on. Yeah. I think life coaching put me in that place.
Yeah.
It's like discipline, 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 discipline.
Mhm.
But so when you bring someone into your life, you want to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll have to be disciplined, but let's do it in another way.
Thank
You
you.
know, let's do it in
Thank you,
another way.
coach. I see all those people that come under your post and they're like, yes, coach, we got you, coach. So it's time for me to say thank you, coach. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to put
Yeah.
some flexibility, a
No,
sprinkle
it's
of
good.
that
It's very important.
on you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing. And now my final question that makes you, so babes, I have to be a star. I have to be some star, some celebrity someday, because in my head, I always know that I have the power to put you
Mhm.
out there and give you the opportunity to talk to the world. And this is that my microphone that no one else owns except me. And so this is
Mhm.
Denzel talking to the world, right? We've spoken about your divorce, done a little bit of deep diving into your divorce. We're probably going to have more conversations as you navigate the waters of life after divorce. But for today, as of now, if you have the opportunity to talk to the world and to say things, you say one of your New Year resolutions is to meet people and make sure that you leave them different, not the way you met
Yeah.
them. You leave them better than you met them, right? I picked that one, it stuck. That one came home with me while we're talking. But then you have to talk to the world. What is it that you will tell the world if everyone else were to stop what they're doing and listen to Denzel Blessed?
That's deep. Love the people who loves you, choose the people who chooses you. Spend time with your family. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Dedicate some time to work on yourself. Build some skills.
Mm-hmm.
You will need those things. Spend time with your family. It's very important. As we get old, realize that the people we have around us, they won't be around us forever. I spoke with my kid sister a couple of days ago, and I said, I'm 40, she's 30, I'll be 41 this January, she's 39. And I'm like, do you know that we are so grateful? Like, we should be so grateful to God that we are we're just getting into our 40s and our parents are still alive.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not experiencing that. So spend time with your family, get in touch with your parents. If you have your woman that you love, spend time with them. I don't care if you're married to her or she's just a girlfriend, whatever level that you people are, spend time together. Respect each other. Try to have a more meaningful conversation. And whenever you people go out, be present. Enjoy the moment with them, which also goes back to what we're talking about, flexibility.
Yep.
Enjoy that moment. Create memories. When you're no longer here, what you left behind are just those memories.
Yes.
So cherish that. Cherish that. Right now, if I have to talk to someone that I care about, phone. That way, I want to spend time and talk. I want to connect with that person. I don't care. Family is everything to me right now. I don't care if you're short, you're black, you're tall, you're fat. If I like your vibes and I see that we are good, I'm spending that time with you. And I'm giving you my best. Because that's all I have. When I'm no longer here, we'll talk about the brand that I was wearing. We'll talk about the car. We'll talk about the memories that I created.
Yeah.
And that's all I cherish right now. So yeah, that would be just my last statement. Spend time with the people you love.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Denzel. This has been an amazing chat. It's always...
Thank you for having me.
I love to pick your brain. You know that, again, as somebody that is also in her own pool of men, I love to pick your brain so that I can grab some of those things that I should take into consideration when I'm considering candidates. So thank you so much for spending the time with me. I appreciate it so much. Your patience. Today, I have heard that you have some patience in you. So thank you.
That's one of my skills. I will say that I've built.
Yeah.
Patience. I love it now.
I can attest to that.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for your time. All right. Thanks. I'll talk to you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so thank you all so much for staying here. Again, I had a great conversation with Denzel. Again, listen to this. Please do subscribe to the channel. You'll find this is YouTube. Again, you might see this on Facebook. Go over to YouTube and watch it. Subscribe to the channel. This is what I love to do. I love to talk to people, have people express themselves, share their experiences, come here to motivate, to inspire us all, right? Because remember that when I do this, I'm also an audience. Even I might be hosting this, but I'm learning. So I hope that you do find some value in these conversations that I have with the people that I bring on. And just to add on, Denzel he has some cards, like relationship cards that he sells, like romantic cards. I don't know that I have one in my office here, but I'm going to put that if you're interested. It's just a way to boost relationship. They're like questions. I call them love cards. Like you can ask your partner a good game that people that are in a relationship or in marriage can play, and it has a ton of questions where those questions that you can ask to understand, questions that you can ask to get to know your partner better. So he has that out in the market. Again, here in the US, I have those. So if you're interested, reach out to me and I will be mailing them out to you. If you're in Europe or Africa, reach out to Denzel. Denzel will mail those out to you. And again, you can find him on Facebook, Denzel Blessed Relationship. I'm going to tag his page on here. And again, reach out to me if you have any questions, if you have any divorce-related questions. I don't know if I can answer those, but if I do not have an answer to your question, I would definitely ask Denzel so he can chime in, because this is his experience. This is his story, and I was just here as a host, as somebody that facilitated the conversation. Thanks again for trusting your girl, So Babes. Thank you for visiting my platform. Please continue to subscribe to my channel. And hey, if you're interested in sharing your story, you can be anything. I listen to people in all walks of life, be it in politics, in love, entrepreneurs, tech, everything. I want to create that space where we can come sit down and talk about every and anything with a goal to inspire and to motivate people. Okay. Thank you again for your time. Stay blessed. And remember, be good to each other. Your one and only So Babes. Love you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for being part of the You Can Be Anything podcast tribe. I appreciate you for spending the time with us. Please kindly follow the podcast on all the social media platforms at You Can Be Anything Podcast. And if you like to watch the video versions of the episodes, you can find those on YouTube under my name, Solange Che. Please kindly subscribe to that channel. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you would like to support the podcast, there is a support button on the website, www.youcanbeanythingpodcast.com, where you can click on to support the podcast. And for you who is ready to be my guest, do not hesitate to reach out either on the social media platforms or just email me at youcanbeanything21@gmail.com. I'll be happy to have you. Stay blessed and be good to each other. Bye-bye.